So, here's the big news that just came out. Johnny Depp arrived in Japan for the first time in 8 years. And guess what? It wasn't just a regular celebrity visit. The airport went totally wild when he got off that plane, and people are still talking about it. Fans, cameras, bright flashing lights. It looked like a scene from one of his movies. But wait, that's not all. You won't believe how Johnny actually acted during all of this. It wasn't what anyone thought would happen. If you've been keeping up with Johnny Depp over the last few years, you know that his life has been full of big problems. But this moment, his return to Japan, feels like something new. And trust me, you're going to want to stay for this one. I'm going to explain everything that happened at the airport, Johnny's surprisingly quiet reaction, and what this trip really means for him. Let's jump in and see why Johnny Depp's arrival in Japan was anything but normal. First of all, let's talk about what happened at the airport. I'm sure when you think of a famous person arriving in another country, you picture the usual craziness, fans yelling, photographers taking pictures, the whole big show that happens around famous people. Well, that's exactly what happened when Johnny landed in Japan. But there was something a little different about it this time. When he got off the plane, it was like the world stopped for a second. Fans were crowded into the airport, holding signs and yelling his name. Cameras were flashing from every side, taking every single moment. It wasn't just a welcome crowd. It was like a big event. Think of like a fancy red carpet, but in an airport. People were even crying because they were so excited. And let's be honest, who wouldn't get emotional if you were a huge Johnny Depp fan and saw him in real life after so many years? It's been a while since we've seen him out in public like this, so everyone was really excited. But here's where it gets interesting. While all of this was going on, Johnny, acting just like Johnny Depp always does, didn't get caught up in all the excitement. He didn't do some big dramatic wave or stop to talk to every single person. Actually, he kept it pretty calm. Fans tried to get closer, but Johnny didn't stay around for photos or make any long speeches. Instead, he just smiled, nodded, and kept walking. It was almost like he was back in the good old days when he was the biggest star in the world. Except this time, he seemed more peaceful. It was almost as if he was used to all the attention, but didn't feel like he needed to play into it. Now, you might be thinking, wait, this is Johnny Depp we're talking about. Shouldn't he be loving all the attention? Well, no. Johnny's reaction was exactly the opposite. How calm he was really stood out. No crazy movements, no big over-the-top reactions. He just handled it all calmly, like it was just another day for him. And honestly, it was a little surprising. But maybe that's the thing about Johnny Depp. After everything he's been through in the last few years, the court cases, everyone watching him, this wasn't just some starstruck moment for him. It was more like a peaceful moment where he could hug his fans without getting pulled into the drama. Maybe he's at a place in his life where the craziness doesn't bother him anymore. Or maybe he just wanted to keep things quiet. Either way, his reaction left everyone amazed. Of course, we can't forget the obvious thing. This is Johnny Depp's first visit to Japan in 8 years. That's a really long time considering how much he loved the country back when he was filming Pirates of the Caribbean. But after all the news stories about his personal life, he stayed pretty quiet. So why now? Why show up in public like this, especially after such a long break? That's a question everyone's been asking. And there are a few ideas floating around. Let's take a moment to think about it. Johnny Depp, over the years, has been one of the most famous actors in the world. He's played amazing roles that have made his career special. Edward Scissorhands, Captain Jack Sparrow, and let's not forget Donnie Brasco. But after all the good times and bad times, it seems like this visit to Japan could be a new beginning. Maybe it's a chance for Johnny to show himself to the world in a different way. Maybe it's a way to slowly come back into the spotlight without jumping straight back into the craziness of Hollywood. People close to Johnny have suggested that this visit might have something to do with work. Yep, it seems like Johnny's trip to Japan isn't just about seeing old fans or enjoying the culture. It's actually believed to be connected to a new project. That's right, Johnny Depp might be getting back into acting in a big way. What people are saying is that he's in talks with Japanese filmmakers about an exciting role that could show him to audiences around the world again. Now, let me pause here and say something that might surprise you. This is not just some random project. According to people who know, this work with a Japanese director is turning out to be a big deal. And no, I'm not talking about just any old movie. This could be a project that gets Johnny back into the worldwide spotlight and even introduces him to a new group of fans in Japan and across Asia. This move might seem like it makes sense for Johnny considering how much love he's gotten from his Japanese fans in the past. You have to remember that he filmed Pirates of the Caribbean advertising stuff in Japan back in the early 2000s, and he's always had a special connection to the country. So, this trip might just be the start of something even bigger. But let's not forget the emotional side of it. Fans were so happy to see Johnny back in Japan, and his cool and calm behavior might have made the moment even more special. It's like he was giving his fans a chance to remember who he is, not just as a famous person, but as a person who's been through a lot and is still standing strong. His calmness, even with all the chaos, showed that he's grown up, but he still cares about his connection with his fans. So, if you're wondering why Japan, the answer is simple. Johnny Depp has always had a special connection with the country and its people. Japan has been one of his biggest fan bases in other countries for years, and he's shown nothing but love and respect for the culture. Actually, his history with Japan goes back a long way, even to when he filmed Pirates of the Caribbean advertising stuff there. He's always felt a deep love for the country's art, history, and traditions. For Johnny, Japan isn't just another country. It's a place where he feels a sense of connection and respect. But there's more to this trip than just a nice return to a place he loves. Japan represents a new chapter for Johnny Depp, a chance to show himself to the world on his own terms. After everything that's happened in the last few years, his very public court battles, news stories watching him, and personal problems, this visit is his chance to show the world that he's still here, still important, and ready to face whatever comes next. It's a sign that he's not hiding from the spotlight anymore. Instead, Johnny is welcoming the next part of his life with a fresh sense of purpose. This trip has meaning. It's about moving forward, reconnecting with fans, and taking control of his future. It's like he's telling the world, I'm not done yet. I've still got so much to give. Now, let's get into some behind-the-scenes details that you might not know. Fans who were lucky enough to be in the airport shared some pretty cool stories about their meetings with Johnny. While he didn't stop for long talks, he did notice the crowd. Some people said that Johnny smiled and even waved to them in a way that felt real. He wasn't acting like the typical superstar who expects everyone to bow down. He was just a guy who's been through a lot and still wants to show thanks to the people who supported him. I mean, think about it. This is a guy who's been talked about constantly in the news. Yet, here he is standing tall, facing the chaos, and giving a nod to the people who've stuck with him through good times and bad times. That says a lot about Johnny's character, right? And here's the kicker. This isn't just a one-time trip. The rumor is that Johnny plans to return to Japan for future projects and events. He's not just there for a quick visit. He's likely there to start the seeds for something much bigger. And fans, well, they're all in, ready for whatever comes next. As for what's next for Johnny Depp, it's hard to say for sure. But one thing's for certain, this trip to Japan has opened up a whole new chapter for him. Whether it's a return to acting, a new project, or just a chance for him to welcome the love and respect of his fans, Johnny Depp's return to Japan is a big deal. It's his chance to show the world that he's not going anywhere. And the fans, they're definitely here for it. So what do you think? Do you believe that Johnny Depp's arrival in Japan marks the start of something bigger, or is it just a casual visit? What do you think his next move will be? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And before you go, make sure to check out my other videos about Johnny Depp's career and personal life. You won't want to miss any of the latest updates. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. I got a lot more exciting content coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.